Pray for you every day.
Remind me to ask J.D. Vance never to pray for me. Good evening and welcome to We Lie to You News, your most trusted source of lies. Our top stories tonight. The New World Order faces a major setback with the retirement of a very young 88-year-old Klaus Schwab. The Pope has died, and we'll give you a full report on how the economy's doing. All that and more, starting with, after 55 years of trying to take over the world, Klaus Schwab officially slithers down as the chairman of the World Economic Forum. Klaus was a unique man, kind of what would happen if you mixed a reptile and autism together and then shaved its head. And of course, his work was principally geared around saving democracy around the world, which he attempted to do by ruling the world while not having a single person ever cast a vote for him to do so, which shows strong initiative. While climate change and COVID were his favorite hobbies, he was also on a very selfless mission to help you own nothing and be happy about it. However, in recent years, Klaus's Great Reset has started to lose momentum, which he acknowledged on stage recently, speaking to an audience of globalists.
We face the backlash of millions of people, particularly in the West, who feels that globalization is not working at their advantage.
Definitely shocking to find out that millions of people think that a globalist agenda that involves them owning nothing doesn't work to their advantage. But as Klaus and his gay friend Dr. Harari would tell you, people are useless, so what they think doesn't even matter. Now, let's hear what one of Klaus's biggest supporters had to say about his retirement.
Now he's completely resigned from the WEF today because he's so hated and nobody wants to be part of that organization and it's falling apart.
Beloved and successful are the fact-check corrections on that. And in Klaus's place will be interim WEF chairman Peter Brabeck-Letmathe, who in 2017 stated, "Humans have no right to access free water." Nigel, I really don't understand why people reject globalization. Now that Klaus is retired, he's expected to spend a lot more time on the beach trying to not get photographed again. And in other news, the Pope is dead, ladies and gentlemen. Just 7 hours after meeting with J.D. Vance, the Pope passed away. Rumor has it that J.D. Vance did not hand sanitize and was certainly not wearing a mask. So there's a decent chance that there's at least a few people left in Portland who have good reason to believe that the Pope died from COVID. It's Justin! We want you to believe that the Pope is truly a holy man and is not just a political figure disguised as a holy man. Just like how the head of a country always represents the best interest of his nation and could never be corrupted. The Pope was holy enough that he took a strong stance against gender ideology, saying it's the ugliest danger of our time. Then the Pope decided that God decided to change his mind on that, and he invited 100 transgenders to the Vatican to have lunch with him. The Pope was so immune to the bidding of evil that here you can see him kissing the hands of David Rockefeller, Henry Kissinger, and John Rothschild, because he was a holy man doing nothing but serving his gods. He was so into truly serving God's work that he managed to secure a strong endorsement from the Soros family, where he championed many of their causes. The Pope was so on track with God, and therefore obviously uncorruptible, that he strongly urged people to become lab rats of Pfizer.
The official cause of death of the Pope, that he had a stroke early this morning.
That's all completely unrelated. It's been said that the devil likes to masquerade as an angel in disguise, and on behalf of the Pope, we'd like to assure you that that isn't true. This Justin! If you're feeling offended about the very real possibility that the Pope was at least in part co-opted by evil, then you might want to ask yourself, is that same evil potentially co-opting me, causing me to reject the idea that that could even be possible? And knowing is half the battle. And in other news, in an alleged secretly recorded phone call, a senior CDC scientist admits that they've hidden the truth about autism. The senior scientist allegedly said, "We lied. We omitted data. The MMR vaccine showed an association with autism. We covered it up." Lying? Omitting data? That just sounds like good science to me. Why is this even a story? But RFK Jr. continues to search for the cause of the dramatic rise in autism and pledges to find it by September. However, it's suspected that RFK Jr. doesn't possess enough autism to find the cause of autism. But stay tuned. Now let's check in and see how the economy's doing. Just hours after Trump tweeted calling the Fed chair Mr. Too Late, the S&P 500 lost $750 billion in market cap. So, seems pretty stable. And in just the past 2 weeks, we've had a universal reciprocal tariffs implemented. A removal back down to 10%, 50% Chinese tariffs, 90% Chinese tariffs, 104% Chinese tariffs, 125% Chinese tariffs, 145% Chinese tariffs, but electronics are exempted. So that sounds pretty stable too. And Marjorie Taylor Greene apparently made a really good guess on buying stocks right before Trump announced the pause on the major tariffs. So congratulations to her. And the Dow is currently on track to have the worst April performance since 1932 during the Great Depression. So the economy is looking pretty stable. And in the super good news column, it's looking more and more like AOC and Bernie are the Democratic frontrunners for 2028. Here you can see AOC in mid-Nazi salute. And here you can see Bernie showing her how it's done. And here you can see both of them boarding a private jet to go speak on their Fighting Oligarchy tour, where they scream at the audience about taxing the rich before getting back on the private jet to fly home. Well, fly back to one of their 3 homes in the case of Bernie Sanders, a man of integrity. Many in the Democratic Party have worried about the party's future after failing miserably with the strategy of running an old white guy and a stupid woman. As Democrats learn from past mistakes, optimism is flooding the party with their new strategy of running Bernie and AOC. So the future looks bright. That's it for today's news. With Klaus Schwab slithering into retirement, you're now faced with the grim future of actually owning things and being in control of your life. And that's just not good for you. By the way, if you've been wondering what it'd be like for Tesla owners to spray Tesla attackers in the face with actual fecal matter, here's what it looks like.
Eat shit, bud!
Got him. Good night. Here's a fact for you: the more life breaks you down, the faster you age. Whether that breakdown is from stress, or you're pushing yourself working out, or just trying to keep up with your daily activities, you have to recover. And one of my absolute favorite recovery regeneration tools is the Bond Charge Infrared PEMF mat. The benefits I love the most are pain reduction, enhanced healing and recovery, improved sleep, cellular energy production, as well as reduced inflammation. PEMF, or pulsed electromagnetic frequency, helps recharge your cells so your body can repair itself more efficiently. And no one does it better or more affordably than Bond Charge. Another of my favorite recovery tools is infrared saunas, and Bond Charge's infrared sauna blanket is my choice of how I get it done. I love this because unlike other sauna systems, it doesn't take up a ton of space in my house. I just roll it out when I want to use it, put away when I'm done, and it also doesn't cost $30,000. I love it because it boosts my metabolism, detoxes my body, helps me relax. And also, I always have the Finnish study in mind that proves regular sauna use can reduce all-cause mortality by 40%. I like life. Get your Bond Charge Infrared PEMF mat and infrared sauna blanket at bondcharge.com/JP. And while you're there, use the discount code JP for 15% off. Enjoy.